Hello, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. We talking boxing. We got Byron here. Man, make sure y'all go on the YouTube page, Spectator Sporting, subscribe to that page, like, comment. We do reply. We love when you tell us we right. We love when you tell us we wrong. We just love all the engagement. We much appreciate it. Let's talk about Keyshawn Davis from Norfolk, Virginia. Dominated Lomachenko with a 4th round knockout, improving to 13-0 with 9 knockouts. The WBO light heavyweight champion looked like he could be on the verge of being a superstar. Yeah. He looks phenomenal, and now this guy is coming. So, Byron, Keyshawn Davis, we've been talking about this division for a lot of reasons, 135, 140, whatever it is. What do you want to see next for Keyshawn Davis?
Man, I want to see Keyshawn Davis go after a champion at 135. I think now that he has that gold, he doesn't have to look back. He doesn't have to fight, the 4th or the 5th. He's fighting the next man up or he's fighting the champion. But I really want to see him take advantage of getting this belt and to go after one of the champions at 135. But just to kind of touch on the week that he had, why Keyshawn Davis is now the face of this division. His last fight we all saw fighting in his hometown. He gets a guy who just says F it to the scale, comes in overweight, and still takes the fight, which for a guy that's up and coming with his career. And when you have a princess like Gervonta Davis, who's kind of holding the division hostage, a loss can be very, very damaging to your career at this point. But, in front of his hometown fans, this man still decided to get in the ring, knocks this guy out, and then comes into a championship fight and has a fight week that includes ignorant racist attacks. And let me just say something. There's a thing where it's okay to not like a fighter. It's okay to not like, how a fighter conducts himself as far as getting fights or how he conducts himself in the ring. But there's never any reason to attack an entire race of people just because you don't like a single solitary fighter. And that's why I will always forever throw the middle finger up to Tia Female Lopez and Ryan I Can't Stop Lying Garcia, because there's no place up for it in the sport. And we have this kind of theme right now where these black fighters have to engage with these guys and face just these flurry of racial slurs and all type of just kind of historic racial shots thrown at black people as a whole. And I just love how Keyshawn Davis took this as, fuel. And even though it kind of came out that Belichick possibly didn't have anything to do with, I'm not even going to repeat it, but he didn't have anything to do with the shenanigans, I still love the fact that that's the guy that was in front of him, and that's the guy that got his ass whooped for it. And Keyshawn Davis definitely put boots to ass when it came to this situation. And for me, he kind of just catapulted to the most relevant 135-pound champion right now. And it's because he's fighting competent competition. And so, just to answer your question in a very long Byronist type way, I want him to continue on the path that he's on and become that Terrence Crawford-like sharpened steel. Do not regress in the competition that you face. Continue to push yourself, to continue to be better than anybody that's in front of you. So the only thing you can do, you don't have to chase Princess Toadstool. You can actually chase the other champions that are in this division. And it's even kind of building up a little steam that he might even consider facing Shakur Stevenson.
That's where I was going.
Even though they have a friendship. Keyshawn Davis right now is kind of selling out on his greatness, and I am a fan, and I am here for it.
Keyshawn Davis was phenomenal against Belichick. I mean, the body shots, the speed, the quickness, the reach.
And it's something to knock somebody out with a body shot. Like that, I feel like that's the most disrespectful knockout in boxing. Just like to come to that body and make you quit.
To get his first official belt, that was, and Belichick was Ukrainian. He was a champion, and I wasn't expecting a knockout in the 4th round.
Nah, definitely not. So, Adi, seeing what Keyshawn Davis did to Baranchyk, a quality opponent, what is next for him? I mean, his name got to be ringing bells right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you said, on the verge of superstardom.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the official Lomachenko retirement announcement. I don't know when that's gonna happen. I haven't, what is he gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
We don't know yet.
Maybe he'll fight 130 pounds.
Right. Yeah, and I just can't wait until the spring and summer to hear the ridiculous reasons why Tank Davis is not fighting an elite fighter from the 135-pound or 140-pound division. I'm just waiting for. I don't know. I'm just losing hope.
Yeah.
I thought after the Frank Martin fight he was gonna fight somebody elite, but he went lower to the 135 or 130-pound division and got Lamont Rose Jr. So I don't know. This is like Lomachenko and Tank Davis are phasing themselves out. And Keyshawn Davis, he said due to the bananas and watermelon situation that was delivered to his locker room, he's not going to fight the Takeover Teofimo Lopez because they've been talking a lot of shit for the last couple of years. But
maybe he should just whoop his ass for doing that.
Right. Shakur said he'll still fight Teofimo.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. When somebody disrespects you like that, it takes you out of the realm of sports. Like that got to be settled on the block. That got to be settled on the streets. Like that's an anger where you don't have to insult people to insult a fighter. And Teofimo Lopez, he ain't fought nobody. He's not fighting anybody. He's not selling. So I don't know why he's so relevant. But he takes these attacks
because he's saying comments like that.
Yeah,
that's how he's relevant.
He uses these attacks to keep his name going. But when's the last time he fought somebody relevant at 140? He's not even in the 135-pound division. He's someone that is in top rank, and he's jealous of the shine that Keyshawn Davis is earning. But again, the key word is he's earning it. He's out there fighting these guys. He's trying to get championships. So I don't understand your problem, but I'll never call you Teofimo. I'll call you Teofimo though.
Well, Shakur Stevenson said that. Well, he said that Teofimo.
Teofimo.
Let catch the wave. Catch the wave.
He said Teofimo is not really a racist. He said he just doing it for act. And also, Lopez was confronted by Bud Crawford at the Better BFB Hall, and Bud
Crawford pulls up. One thing I learned about Terrence Crawford: you talk shit, he's gonna pull up, arm around you or smack to the face. Like, bro, I don't know about the Omaha, man, but I don't really want to test no Omaha brothers.
He confronted
like
him.
they bout it.
Yeah. Because Bud is real cool with Keyshawn, and so he confronted Teofimo, and Lopez was like, oh yeah, it was just for publicity and stuff like that, like what you're saying.
Right.
But I would say, Shakur Stevenson, when he came up to the 135-pound division a couple years ago, he said his goal was to become the unified champion at the lightweight division, but he contradicts himself when he says he's not going to fight his friend Keyshawn Davis.
There we go. That's a big top because those are two major components in this division.
But look what Andre Ward told Shakur in the interview. He kind of gauged his thirst for greatness, and he said, "Look, the way you do two guys in 2 years, y'all gonna be on a collision course."
Yeah.
And that's kind of like that wisdom that he was passing. Like, look, dude. Y'all stars are bright, but y'all burning in the same rotation. Yeah. And you can't avoid it. And so I understand friendship. I understand not wanting to fight your friend, but just for the sake of competition, the only pass I truly want to give is like if y'all brothers, like y'all related. Don't want to see the Klitschko's fight. Don't want to see the Charlos fight.
I get it.
But man, I want to see these two go at it. Yeah. I want to see them thump, and I'm hoping that Princess Toadstool and Lomachenko kind of phase themselves out of the division.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we see these two bulls go at it because it's just you see the fire in them. They have a fire, and that hunger to be great after being force-fed all the BS that we've been forced from the so-called faces of boxing. It's just it's refreshing to see two bulls that want their brand to succeed, and they don't want to do it by just constantly staying on Twitter. They want to get in the ring. They want to fight champions, and they want to go after undisputed status. So, tip of my cap, man.
And Shakur, but he did say that Keyshawn Davis seems too big for the 135-pound division, and he can see Keyshawn transitioning up to 147, and I think that's a good point because
that is fair.
Lemos came in 6 pounds overweight, and he knocked him out in the second round. And against Baranchek, he looked like a man against boys. He's just total domination. He just looked huge.
5'9", 70-inch reach. The only person close to him is William Zepeda, who has actually a half-inch reach. He's a 69.5, but nobody else 5'9". He definitely has the little cheat code as far as making 135 and then getting that weight. He is big for 135. We said it in that fight, man versus boy. So I think when he says I'm not afraid of anybody in his division, he means it. But he is not afraid of anybody in 135.
No, but definitely.
In the meantime, I can see Keyshawn Davis fighting a man who calls him his son, the Cuban amateur legend Andy Cruz.
Okay.
Andy Cruz. Now, Andy Cruz and Keyshawn Davis has fought 4 times in the amateur.
Right.
And Andy Cruz beat him every time, all 4 times. That's why he called him his son. Okay. Beat him in the Olympics.
Love it. That's a great storyline. I love it.
Yes, they got that. That would definitely be a build-up. And Andy Cruz, look, he's the #1 WBC contender, #3 WBA contender, #3 IBF contender. He is no joke. He doesn't have a lot of fights under his belt, but like David Morrell, Lomachenko, they came in. These guys had this great amateur background. And, Cuba, they've been professional boxing for many, many years. So, but Andy Cruz is no joke. Or you got the top 5 lightweight contender, Raymond Danger Morataya. He is 22-0. And then you got the ghost, Frank Martin. The only loss came to Tank Davis. He's the #5 WBC contender. So there's some lightweights there that can challenge Keyshawn.
I swear, every time I hear Frank Martin's name, every single time I hear it, I go back to that fight when Princess fainted at him, and he threw half his body to the second row of the crowd. Yeah. And it's just every time somebody try to put some respect on his name,
you can't get that.
Pump fake. I can't get it out of my head. Like, man, you scared of somebody 5'5". You the bigger man in there, and you was scared. No, I don't believe you, Frank. I don't believe you, Frank.
So listen, Keyshawn, I mean, what I saw, all I could do from who he fought and what I saw on the tape was amazing. Yeah. And this man looks really talented, and he's going to have to deal with. But let's talk about this 135, 140 pound division. Tank, Byron has brought it up many times. Tank right now, him not taking fights or not doing fights, maybe short-stopping other people, I'm not sure. I don't know if Tank's hard in it, but you got Shakur Stevenson. You talked about how him and Keyshawn Davis are friends. Like, that friendship gonna have to, take a back seat, I think, in this division. Like, so, Adi, what's this division looking like? What's the future? Because it seems like you brought it up that Keyshawn might move up in weight. Right. He might leave this division. What's the future of this division right now?
Well, Gervonta Davis and Lomachenko, they're phasing themselves out the boxing scene. But hopefully Tank Davis, changed his mind or whatever about the retirement. And the new top 2 in the lightweight division is Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson. All right, that's a new top 2. And if William Zepeda beats Tevin Farmer in their rematch, they fight in late March. William Zepeda barely beat Tevin Farmer, okay? In the first fight, he was knocked down in the 4th round. That's why De La Hoya is making him fight the rematch. Shakur looks at it as a duck. Yeah. Because Shakur was saying that William Zepeda, after that fight, Zepeda had a little injury and this thing. He's in a sling or something.
The injury wasn't real.
Yeah, but now you're fighting. William. Tevin Farmer.
It do look like that.
We gotta talk about Shakur being ducked. Like, it's blatant.
Yeah. You know what?
People get out of his way.
You know what? At first, I was thinking like maybe he just talking shit. These people ain't afraid of him. But man, more and more I look at it, the more and more the whole situation with Schofield, Kid Austin. All of a sudden he gets hit. Like Shakur called it. Shakur Stevenson was like, man, he was saying he don't think he was gonna fight because he wasn't showing up to the little promotional things, this and that. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, a few days before the fight, he's sick in the hospital. Dad said he poisoned, and then he apologized for the poison. Yeah. I mean, Shakur said Lomachenko ducked him. He said Tank ducked him. He said Pitbull Cruz ducked him. William Zepeda ducked him. It's like, damn. But, you know what I'm saying, people don't really want to fight this guy. But
because Shakur is because his defense is so...
He's a matchup nightmare.
Because his defense is so good. People like, oh, man, I'm not even gonna be able to hit this guy. I'm not even.
Just look at Bivol. Look at Bivol with one of the hardest hitting guys on the planet, and just making him look humble. Like you're not just gonna go in there and dog walk a defensive minded fighter. It's not easy.
And he doesn't run like. It's not like Shakur moves around a lot. Like Bivol move around a lot, but Shakur be standing right there in the pocket, and you can't hit. It's like I'm start calling his ass the Matrix or something. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think you can shoot the motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I mean, but the only. So I do want to see this whole Will Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson in the fall. I want to see that in the fall. Hopefully Zepeda beats Tevin Farmer. And the only lightweights I can see threatening Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis reign at the top of the lightweight division is Andy Cruz. I can see Raymond Morataya and William Zepeda. Now that's if Tank Davis and Lomachenko is really about to be gone for good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in 2026, Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis, they need to figure out, are they going to fight each other? Is Keyshawn going to move up to 140? Because listening to Shakur, it seems like he's really implanted on staying at 135. He's not even thinking about going to 140.
Yeah.
So it looks like if Keyshawn don't move up in 2026, they're going to have to fight.
Yeah. They're going to have to fight.
Yeah.
Definitely. Byron, what do you see for this division? I know you've been saying the Tank thing for a while. You've been on it for a while. A lot of people are catching up to what you've been saying. Mm-hmm. But what's going on with this division for you?
And the thing is, I think as most sports, how the best in your division goes, so does the division go. Mm-hmm. You know, in basketball is how the best player conducts themselves. That's how the league goes.
Ooh,
and
that's all.
And this is, and that is, but it's a lot of truth in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, right now, what we have is a wealth of talent, but we have a cancer at the top of it. And once again, you know, I constantly battle you stands in the comment section in reference to Tank Davis. Tank Davis is it's more disappointment than hatred on my end. I'm disappointed when I see a fighter with that much God-given ability who doesn't want to basically bless the fans that are paying for this lifestyle that you have and give us competition, because that's what we want. We want to see competitive fights. And, you know, if Turkey was to look at 135, it's real easy. You got Keyshawn Davis at 13-0. You got Shakur at 23-0. Zepeda 32-0, and Tank Davis at 30-0. This is real easy to figure out. If Keyshawn and Shakur don't want to fight each other or whatever, you kind of force a situation that'll eliminate that and basically have what I've said before on here, a tournament.
Yeah.
Where you have Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis. Let him pick which one he wants. And he's going to pick Shakur. He ain't going to pick the 5'9" Keyshawn Davis to get in there and tangle with.
Yeah.
Let him get Shakur. Let Keyshawn Davis get his hands on Zepeda. And then the winners fight each other for the division. Mm-hmm. And it's as simple as that. Because I really don't feel like Lomachenko at this point in his career wants to get in with any of these bulls. I would be surprised if he does after turning down a fight with Tank Davis. But I think that you should kind of look at this division as 4 horses in front of it. And yes, there are guys that are coming up, but right now, let's try to unify this division. You know, it's too much shit talking going on between these guys for us to not get a fight this year. We don't have to wait till 2026. Right. We should see 2 of these guys fight this year, fourth quarter. You know, whether it's Shakur Zepeda, we should see. Yeah, we should see 2 of these guys link up. Yeah. But I mean, even with Tank Davis, why not go out and fight a Keyshawn Davis? You talking about? You saying he's not ready? Like, why wouldn't you want to fight this guy? That's why I love what Shakur Stevenson did when it came to the Holyfield. Kid Austin. Yeah. Basically, this guy's talking all this shit that he wants to do all of this work to him. He can just easy money him. Yeah. Make the fight. Let's go. Here's the contract. Right. Let's get it in. Right. You know, and it's not Shakur with his status was basically doing a big up to Kid Austin. Yeah. Because Kid Austin wasn't on his level. Kid Austin didn't do enough to show that he was worth that shot. But it was enough crap talk, there was enough buzz created that I'm going to shut you up in the ring. I'm not going to have this I'm better than you and I've seen your fights and I just know that I'm better than you so I don't have to get in the ring. No, I'm going to put boots to ass. I'm going to whoop your ass in front of everybody and show you that I'm better than them. I don't understand with the talent that Tank Davis has why he doesn't look at this division like, man, I'm going to retire one of the richest guys of my generation.
Yeah.
Because you command more money in each of these fights. I don't know why you don't want to fight each one of these guys. But that's another conversation.
Yeah.
But right now, as far as this division, you have a wealth of talent. You have champions that can fight champions. And that's what I want to see. I don't want to see any more contenders put up with opportunities. I don't want to see any more looking back at 130, 126. I want to see the best 135-pound fighters in the world fight each other. These 4 guys on the list, you know, Lomo gets his pass, whether he wants to fight somebody at 140 or bow out in retirement. I don't care. You didn't put in your work. You've been a face of this division long enough. We got 4 bulls in front of it. Let's get them in the ring together.
Maybe all these interviews, maybe everything that he's saying right now is to set up the fight with Shakur Stevenson. And maybe that's the second.
There is no setup needed. This is the biggest fight in boxing. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
This is a major fight. It's already been 2 years of shit talking.
That's what I'm saying. 2 years. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You make this fight, that's the buzz.
That's what I'm saying. So I think, hopefully, that's what's going on because he said he's going to fight this year, right? He's going to fight this fight, and then he's going to fight one more fight, and I think that's when he's supposed to. Now, I don't know how true it is. I don't know. That's what he owned. But maybe Shakur did his job. He won his fight.
He got a knockout.
Yeah, he got a knockout.
Finally.
He did his job. So now Tank, does his job, and now you got it where, okay, now that fight is set up.
Well,
so that's what I'm hoping. That's a big hope.
That's imagination.
That's imagination.
That's the optimistic version.
Because Turkey has offered this man big money.
Yeah.
And that's one thing we know about Turkey Al-Rashid.
Yeah.
If Turkey comes calling, it's gonna be money involved, and you're not gonna fight no pretender. You're gonna fight somebody legit.
And that's great. I love it.
I look at fighters who don't want to align with him with a side eye. You know, I was surprised that Canelo took that bait.
Too much money.
But I think it's the money.
Yeah,
so it's money. Just one thing we know, Canelo is fueled by money.
Yeah.
So once the money was offered, Canelo's in. And I love that. But Tank, it's something different. That's why y'all talk about why I insulted him like I did on the last video, but because it don't seem like it's like the money. You got the biggest promoter in the game with all the money, like putting it on the table. Like, look, what do you want to fight this guy? And he's pricing himself out of these fights. So, like, come on, man.
So if Shakur fights Williams Zepeda this fall, then who does Tank fight? Keyshawn Davis?
So that's what I want to see.
That's what I want to see. But I don't. But I don't think it's no way in hell he fights Keyshawn Davis because of the stats. He's not trying to get in with a 5'9" guy that fights big, who's not gonna go for that weight drain crap. You're not gonna drain him. He's not gonna allow it.
But 2 things though. All right, Mario Barrios is 6 foot tall.
That's true.
How tall is Ryan Garcia? Ain't Ryan Garcia 5'9"?
Yeah,
I think he's just as tall as, and he's actually probably bigger than Keyshawn Davis.
Right.
And he knocked him out.
But I think it's a skill. I think he don't want no smoke with him. Like
I think he can knock.
No, we could do a show a week about like trying to dissect.
That's the frustrating thing about
Davis
Tank.
mentality. You don't understand. It doesn't make sense. You can't understand something that doesn't make sense. And y'all run into the comment section and always have these. But why should he? But what? Because he's the champion at 135. There is no undisputed at 135. That was Devin Haney. He's moved on. Right now he's a champion. There are other champions. You can't tell me Tank Davis can't make a fight with anybody on that list.
He definitely can.
Outside of Lomachenko.
Right, outside of Lomachenko.
No,
outside of Lomachenko, he commands the higher price on all of those fights.
Yeah, he's a big money guy.
That's the frustrating being a fan of Tank as I am, but like it's like because if he was to have these fights with Shakur or Keyshawn, just my opinion, I think he wins them fights. I think he beats everybody in this division.
Me too.
Like, you know, so that's the frustrating part about it.
I think he knocks him out. I think he catches him. And, I mean, the thing is, like, he's not like Deontay Wilder. He's not going there just swinging.
Yeah. He has a method to the madness.
He's a great counterpuncher.
Yeah.
He has a great chin.
Yeah.
You might hit him and he might counterpunch you and knock you out, bro. Like, so I mean, I would have to take Tank, man.
That's the frustrating part.
I don't know why. I don't understand why he won't fight him. I don't think he's really scared of these guys. I don't get it. He say he want the money. He make a lot of money fighting these guys. Like I said, it's just like going in the big.
I don't know if it's harder than boxing though. Like I just like listening to him talk, and maybe he just talk. I don't know if his heart is truly invested in boxing like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
And I think he's a pussy.
I'm not. Hey, listen, man. It takes to knock a lot of people out. I'm not. He done knocked a lot of mugs out, so I'm not gonna say that. But
what the old folks say, I think that boy's scared, man. I don't know.
You know, maybe this is setting up for that big fight next, and maybe we're gonna see him against Shakur Stevenson. That's what I'm hoping.
I call Cap.
That's optimistic. Now, would I bet on it? Absolutely not. You've been watching Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. Shout out to Burn. Make sure you go on Spectator Sporting. Subscribe to that YouTube page. Like, subscribe, leave comments. We do appreciate it. In the meantime, in between time, we out. Peace.